So, listeners, now we get to speak to Ashraf, our teacher and the creator of the Attract Soulful Love program. Welcome back, Ashraf. Thank you so much for joining us again this evening.
Yes, you're very welcome. It's a privilege and a pleasure to be here with you and the team and to the people joining this evening.
Ashraf, after 2 years of giving this Attract Soulful Love project your full attention with the group of students in the Attract Soulful Love pilot program and these 90-minute live sessions as well, you have drilled down and clarified your approach as the Soulful Love marriage option. So you've gone over and above to deliver and to uncover the secrets so that we smart women can actually experience real spousal satisfaction within an actual marital union. Thank you so much, Ashraf. This has
As I said,
been historic, and
yes,
yeah, and we're getting stronger and stronger and growing from strength to strength. And I'm very grateful to be a part of this. And I can't
yes.
believe we're now at the end of season 2, and it feels like we're just getting started now.
Yeah, it's been a journey, all right, for us as a team and for members of the team, also the pilot program students, and anybody having been with us for the past 2 years. I think you can follow the whole journey. It's available currently on Spotify for free and on YouTube for free. And it's really been a very insightful process. I've working for 30 years or so with women and seeing the plight of women currently, to dedicate this time, giving them my full attention to assist them with this problem that seems to be getting bigger and bigger, that more and more smart women remain unmarried. And when they marry, seems to be certain and inevitable divorce in certain cases. So we're dealing with women in the 21st century. Women in the 21st century have had the opportunity to be exposed. They have had the opportunity to be educated. They've had the opportunity to be empowered. So they've stepped into their own expression. And so it's impossible for women to go back into the molds in which their mums and aunts and women of previous generations have been schooled into or groomed into. And so women today who are in the 21st century woman identity, they require a different kind of marriage. The going back to the tribal kind of understanding of marriage, it's just self-betraying, and a lot of women might force themselves to be there, but they just can't lie to themselves. They might stay there for a variety of different reasons, but it's like a type of suicide. So there are no options currently available. This problem hasn't been voiced. In fact, we might be voicing it for women for the first time. A lot of women who have gone beyond their mother's level of education, their mother's levels of living, they can't go to their mothers for marital guidance. They can't go to the people who gave their mothers guidance. So these are lost generation of women. They are in limbo. They are stuck, you see. And so to be able to support these women who are looking for a better than their mother and father relationships, it's a privilege and a pleasure to attend to them, to give them an option of what a better relationship might look like. They can choose, is what I'm proposing something that might inform them to exactly what that better relationship is that they're looking for. And as you said, there are other women who are really taking the opportunities to live their lives fully. They are enjoying freedoms that their mothers and aunts never known. They have the power of choice. They are choosing, and within their means, they're choosing the best options they can have. These are women looking to have the best marriages they can have. They're ambitious. They want the best. In their own personal lives, they choose the best for them. And so they want the best marriage they can have because they choose the best for themselves. But they don't know what that looks like and what that entails. So to be able to look at these two types of women, the one that is looking for a better relationship than the old school mom and dad relationship, that role-based relationship, and the woman that's looking for the best for herself that she can have. She's enjoying her personal satisfaction, but she's looking to spousal satisfaction, and she's got no support. So when women look around at each other, they look at each other remaining unmarried, confused, like, what are we supposed to do? Or they see other women having been married and couldn't handle that kind of self-betrayal, who leave those relationships. Those women end up feeling a sense of futility, and they abandon the thought of remarrying again. So this is the plight that is facing smart women today, those women who are stepping into the 21st century modern woman identity. We are here to support you. So this last 2 years has been absolutely amazing. You can see that I had taken the work that I had come in with and refused to disseminate it, but I undertook the challenge to go as deep as I could. And so thanks to you, Antonia, Adina, and the women who are in the pilot program, I've able to drill down, and distill this option that I call the soulful love marriage option. It's a love marriage, a soulful love marriage option. And this is something that these women who are looking for a better relationship than their parents, or are looking for the best relationship that they can have, it's worth taking a look at. So it's been an amazing journey. And to listen to Antonia share her journey over this last 24 months, and her adventure continues, it's just been incredible to have women who are courageous enough to stand for their marital aspirations, and courageously. So we give these women a destination as to what a soulful love marriage is, a destination, and we give them the direction to that destination if they choose it. So yeah, I'm very grateful to the team. I'm very grateful to the students in the pilot program. I'm very grateful to God, who has inspired me to undertake this visionary and breakthrough teaching and supports me every step of the way.
And we, as smart women becoming progressive women, are very grateful that you have undertaken this to expand, our awareness and show us the soulful love marriage option, Ashraf. So, Ashraf, for the benefit of the listeners, can you tell us what is a conscious premarital journey and what is an unconscious premarital journey? And can you tell us what is the difference between these two?
Okay, so prior to getting married, to committing to a husband, there's a process that occurs. I call it a premarital journey to commitment. Before you commit, before you say, yes, I do, yes, I will, I'll marry you, I accept the proposal, there is a premarital journey to that point. And I have outlined that journey in terms of a conscious premarital journey for smart women, which involves becoming close, to see whether there is compatibility, complementarity, whether there's chemistry, to see if there's caring, consideration, if there's communion, from closeness to closeness. This is a path that smart women can follow to having soulful love marriages. If they want to, you can follow that path. So usually unconsciously, when women, their path to commitment usually involves one step, which I will just say as a crush, a crush or an infatuation. Usually a woman will meet a man and come to a conclusion, hoping and wishing he's the right one, using their thinking, figuring out whether he's the right one. And it could be naive of her to think he's going to be the ideally suitable spouse for her. Or she could be in fantasy. But generally, sometimes there's an unconscious pattern that's playing out where people attract people that end up perpetuating a pattern. So usually the unconscious premarital journey is just one step. It's a crush, and then the commitment. And then they end up having their hearts crushed, you know. So where there is a projection, an unrealistic projection, when a woman looks at a man and she projects onto him that he's the one, he's going to like me, he's going to listen to me, and he's buying me gifts, so it must be my love language. He's giving me words of affirmation and validation, speaking my love language. He's interested in holding me and holding my hand, must be my love language. So oftentimes when a man is interested in a woman, he wants to earn her good favor as soon as possible. So there's gifts and there's all kinds of flattery and there's all kinds of wanting to get warm and fuzzy and close and all that sort of thing. And so a woman starts projecting, he loves me, he'll do anything for me, he says. She starts expecting that when the time comes, he'll please me, he'll listen to me, he's going to say, what you're unhappy with, I'll change, I'll make you happy. So a lot of women marry generally with some kind of projection that, well, he's rich, or he's going to please me, or something, it's going to be good, but it's not realistic. And they don't realize that they marry and create distance in their marriage. Their marriages are largely set up to fail because there's no compatibility, and there's no complementarity, and there's no chemistry, and there's no caring consideration, and there's no communion. See? So those marriages start off with people not having affinity, or they start off with people at a distance, not close. And once those expectations are not met, there's disappointment, there's further distancing, whether those relationships remain physically together, but there's a separation within those relationships emotionally. People become more and more resentful in those marriages. And oftentimes women have to stay because they require the man for financial and other reasons or societal reasons, they stay together. But this doesn't work for smart women in the 21st century. This doesn't work for women who have already tasted the freedoms and expression and are living, beyond what their mothers and women of previous generation are living. So there's these two types of premarital commitment. One is conscious, the journey to commitment, the premarital journey to commitment. One is conscious. And this is what I am presenting in the Soulful Love Marriage Option. What is a Soulful Love Marriage Option, which I'll discuss shortly with Adina, and this, how to actually support it if you're interested in it. And so there's conscious, there's unconscious. And so in a conscious, soulful relationship, the conscious journey, premarital journey to commitment is basically where a woman is happy. She's happy as she is living her own life, caring for herself. Like we heard with Antonia, she had to learn to care for herself, to let in a man's caring. She had to learn to care for herself so she could be caring to a man. So in the same way, when a woman is meeting her own needs, desires, and preferences in her own life, in service of her own personal satisfaction, and she has meaning and purpose in her life, she is happy. And she's looking to have a man in her life to support happiness. That means she is being herself, she's expressing herself as a person, and she's in her life self-expressed. And she's in her friendships and social relations self-expressed. But now she's looking to be spousally self-expressed. Spousal self-expression, spousal expression. and spousal satisfaction. So from having that joy and having a happy, being happy as an individual, happily unmarried, she can then support having a marriage that's going to serve her in happiness. And this is what's possible for women in today's day and age. And I will tell you that this is the destiny, the time that we're living in. This is a visionary teaching, that there's no other solution that I can see for the institution of marriage, the crisis that it's facing. It's that women can develop their higher potentials and step into their higher possibilities for marriage. And that's really what this whole program is about, the smart woman's destiny, that we can claim that marital destiny, where they can experience spousal satisfaction within a marital union. That's basically, the difference between the conscious and unconscious, and the distinction between them. Whereas the unconscious woman is marrying to avoid being alone, to avoid being unhappy. She's marrying to be happy, and then she doesn't end up happy. A conscious woman marries from already being happy in support of happiness. That means she enjoys her life more in the role of spouse, that she is spousally self-expressed and spousally satisfied.
Ashraf, thank you so much for that explanation and for mapping out, the conscious premarital journey that women can undergo to get to the destination that you spoke about. And, this work is becoming so clear, from where we started to where we are each season, building on the next. I'm really looking forward to the further elaboration of the Soulful Love Marriage option later with you, Anadina, and also in season 3.
Yes, I just
Ashraf,
want to
thank you
say
so
that
much.
before you end with me, I want to say that this is a journey into the unknown, right? Women have moved into an unknown. They have the courage. These women who have stepped beyond the women of previous generations are real women. They're not playing house, right? A lot of the women on this call and come to the classes, you're a real woman. You need to understand you're a real woman. You're not playing house. You're not a grown-up girl, and you're not an age-regressed lady. So a lot of you out here are real women, and you need to own that. And you stepped into opportunities that weren't available to your parents courageously. And you've learned and developed yourself in terms of developing competencies. That's courage. Where today women are equal to men in the workforce and the workplace, and sometimes earn more than men. So we've stepped into the unknown to that particular point. And now, as those women that we call smart women, the opportunity is to step further into the unknown, to develop your highest potentials. So that's what we're doing with the women, supporting women to develop the highest potentials, to be self-attending, to not only be smart and think their way through life. I've got a car, I've got a house, I've got money, I can function on my own, I don't need anybody, I'm looking after everybody. Not just smart like that, but really intelligent. When a woman becomes self-caring. So this is what we are encouraging women to become: self-caring, self-attending, beyond self-abandonment. And this is stepping into the unknown. And as the self-available woman who can care for themselves, to receive the caring of a man and to give a man a caring. Understand? This is the unknown. And that's where you got to go. There's nowhere else to go. And that's where I'm going with you. Developing this, I'm going into unknown territory myself. This 2 years has been us stepping into unknown territory. And you can see it's happening in real time. And so some women who have a leadership destiny to step into this transition that's taking place, to be the leaders of our sisters to come, will take on this journey now, which in decades to come and generations to come will be very normal. There'll become a time in maybe 60 or 80 years from now when they'll speak about us. How at a time when women were stuck, the ASL was created to support these women, to show them the promised land and to guide them to the promised land, where nobody else was doing it. So it's all unknown. I mean, I've stepped into the unknown as a teacher. You have stepped into the unknown. We've all stepped into the unknown, and we all continue to step into the unknown. And we have the courage to do that. Those of you who are here, stay on the call. You have the courage to stay on the call. I have a lot of respect for you. A lot of people will come onto this call and leave because it's scary. Let's just do what doesn't work. Remember the definition of insanity? Keep doing what doesn't work. Insanity. So we're breaking through this self-deprivation legacy experienced by smart women. And we're breaking through that. Beyond the breakdown.
Definitely.
Thank you, Rabia.
Thank you, Ashraf. What you are providing with the Attract Soulful Love organization, so such a remarkable contribution that you're making to the evolution of humanity, and your work is truly visionary. And thank you so much for all your efforts, in supporting smart women in this evolution. So, listeners, it's now time where Adina will be interviewing Ashraf. Adina, welcome back. I'm really looking forward to the gems that you will be unpacking with Ashraf this evening. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Rabia. And hello, everybody. I am saying hello from a very hot European country. I'm not just having hot flushes. It's very hot here. So that's why I'm dressed like that. Full summer. Wow. Who would have thought we are ending the second season now, and we still have lots of people interested with us here, which is great support. To do this work, to continue to do this work, and it's optimistic. I'm very pleased and I feel privileged to be part of this. And the most interesting thing for me is the depth that we got into and to continue to get into, and the clarity that we are reaching. And I'd like to point out that Ashraf has not been and is not a marriage counseling specialist, although he frequently provided such counsel and assisted many women over the years. And even marriage counselors, they don't go so deep into the subject. So it's really a breakthrough material. When I look back where we started off with Ashraf's series and analogy from the flower with the bee, and exactly what Rabia was saying earlier, and also it's the personal growth and development that is underneath all of this. It's such a beautiful evolution we had in this program, and we have shown with Ashraf's genius, of course, and by the grace of God, how practically this concept can be realized. And what an amazing evolution. We have seen considerable development of the program, of its students, and even of each and every one of us involved with it over the last 2 years. It is such a unique experience one can have, and we have outlined this whole process, a psychological, spiritual process that is believable and it's doable, and it's all about smart women having the best marriages that they can have. This is our theme. We are showing people how this is possible as their destiny, and how to claim it is not just fantasy. We've heard from Antonia and from other people. It's real life potential, real life possibility. And without personal development, we cannot get there, because we all have these blocks and barriers to dissolve and to grow beyond personal development, which is key. Otherwise, if it was that easy, everybody would have had the best marriage already, but we know that's not the case. So I would say, from showing the potentials and possibilities women have in season 1 and to establishing this point of spousal satisfaction in season 2, and looking at the mistakes and corrections in the process, we are ending this season 2 with the elements before somebody can commit in a relationship. And a very key point is that we have been showing is how women can become self-attending women who can receive the self-attendance from themselves, from a man, and they can also give it to a man. A woman can be the best spouse she can be by becoming one through personal development. And she doesn't have to attract the wrong man and, live this great tragedy of living unsatisfied in her marriage. So, yeah, we are breaking through one live session and one group coaching session at a time. And we are showing women a conscious premarital journey compared to an unconscious one. Many women get married, but they're not getting there where they want to go because they don't know how. They don't know there is a way. And we are showing that to this type of women, this modern women of 21st century. And we don't want, anymore, and I'm speaking to myself as well, a traditional marriage that our parents had. Like Ashraf mentioned, we want the best that we can have. And this is what we're showing in this program, and how to correct and how to clear the path to marrying correctly. So, yeah, this is what we're offering here. And to the women that require this and desire the best marriage that they can have, we are continuing with this program. So, Ashraf, we spoke about this last month, and also they were mentioned today. Some of them, like the compatibility and the complementarity. What is the full picture of these C's that we've been mentioning, of the conscious journey that people are not aware of, but want to become aware? And can you please take us through this all C's that you so brilliantly mapped out for us? Thank you.
All right. So let's put the C's into perspective, right? So firstly, I am proposing the soulful marriage option for smart women. So what is the soulful love marriage option for smart women? It's a love marriage, right? But it's not your usual love marriage where people fall in love unconsciously and want to be together and then end up hating each other. From special love, then there's special hate. This is not that type of love marriage. Nor is it an arranged marriage. You get what I mean? This is a love marriage, but it's a soulful love marriage. This is for people who want to be part of a team in life, where there's God for us all, and you have your relationship with God, and you are there for you and for your life. And then you have somebody to share your life with. That together, you can spend the rest of your lives together, facing life together, building a family together, living and enjoying life together. Okay, so it's a relationship that is created with God as you open up to receive caring, and you open up to receive this attendance, attention. Those of us who are welcoming of that caring, because we give ourselves the caring, because we can give others caring, those of us who are welcoming of this caring, we can receive this caring. So this is my inspiration, that the most important relationship is with God, then you, and in your life. If you're happy with God, happy with you, happily living your life, then a marriage is an opportunity for you to happily live beyond a person and a personal life into a spouse and a spousal life, where you have personal satisfaction. This is the growth you are talking about. Smart women can become progressive women. Smart women can learn to have a relationship with self where they support personal satisfaction. As these women who support personal satisfaction and enjoying their lives, they can have marriages that add to their enjoyment of life. Now, if I had to ask you to do homework and say, please find out from the woman you know, how enjoyable is your marriage? How Are you enjoying your marriage? Like somebody might say, I enjoy my work. Like I might say, I'm enjoying this presentation. I'm enjoying this project. So if you ask a woman generally who's been married for 5 years, 10 years or so, and you ask her, how much are you enjoying your marriage? Are you enjoying your marriage? How, on a scale of 1 to 10, how enjoyable is your marriage? I suspect generally the older the ladies are, the older the women are, they look at you strangely, like, are you mad? Since when is marriage an enjoyable thing? You get what I mean? But this is where we are heading. See, we are heading into women who are developing themselves to have personal satisfaction, can be spousally developed to have spousal satisfaction. They can become the most satisfying spouses they can be. They can become the most satisfying wives they can be to the most spousally satisfying husbands that they can have. There are high-value men that are looking for high-value women. There are men who are looking for women who would value them and appreciate them, not use them and abuse them. You know what I mean? There are men who are looking for women who they can enjoy life with too, that can add to the enjoyment of life. So we are talking about spousal satisfaction here. The Attract Soulful Love teaching is presenting the soulful love marriage option because it's a love marriage, but it's created by God. Like you heard Antonio say, that you don't have to know who he is, but you know that he is. All you have to do is prepare yourself to receive him. He's already there. So this is a soulful love marriage, that you can have a marriage where you don't fall in love with a guy because you make him special and he makes you special only to fall out of love, or it's not arranged or not thinking. You can actually proactively and creatively ensure that you attract to you an ideally suitable spouse, one who is going to support you from being happy to be happier. And so the hallmark, or the, let's say, motto of the soulful love marriage is spousal satisfaction within marital union. Optimal spousal satisfaction, with a actually bonded, within an actually bonded marriage or couple relation. We are talking about the C's starting with coupling. See, we are talking about coupling, not just two people come together and they say, hey, we're a couple. We're talking about where two people come together and they couple together. Those husbands and wives who couple together, they stay together. They'll never want to be apart. And so there's a way that you can actually attract to you your high value, the man who's right for you, who's not right for any other woman, for whom you right for more than any other man. See, there's a way that you do it, and that's what we teach here. And so the whole idea is around these two elements. Spousal, actual coupling is where you get to experience mutual spousal satisfaction. And we covered that in the beginning of this series, the second series. And within an actual marital union, where you experience togetherness, closeness, intimacy. So actual coupling, this is about coupling. And it is coupling for connection, C-O-R-E, connection. What is connection? It's where you at your core connect with another person at their core, where you are who you are, they are who they are, and together you enjoy this coming together, this experience of togetherness. So how does that occur? Well, let's look at what the picture looks like. So where there's connection, where you can be you, and somebody knows you, and somebody accepts you, and somebody desires you, and somebody is caring to you and valuing you, and somebody's prepared to make certain changes for the relationship because they value you. That's what we're talking about here. A coupling where people get close, and as they're close, they get closer. So the closeness followed by the closeness indicates the right time for commitment. See, so people commit usually from the crush. They go straight from the crush into the commit. Yeah, yeah, I'll marry you. You bought me flowers. You holding my hand. You're gonna touch me. Oh, so nice. You like me. So they project onto that. This man is going to be what I want him to be. In the meantime, they don't realize there's so much of distance, that the man wants her for his own reasons. He's looking at his mother's relationship with the father, saying, I'm going to be like my father or my mother. She doesn't know that. She's thinking, what this beginning period, he's trying to get me to say yes. It's like, it's all, she doesn't know that it's all excitement. So what we are talking about from connection, which basically is closeness leading to closeness, it begins officially with the first C of compatibility. We spoke about that, and complementarity. And then there's chemistry and caring consideration. So where there's compatibility, complementarity, chemistry, and caring consideration, there's a closeness. Now, closeness is good. It's a good start. However, you require the fifth C, which is communion. Communion allows further bonding to take place. A lot of times a man and woman come together, there's distance between them, they get married and the distance remains. And then issues arise and then the distance is increased. Then this leads to separation, emotional separation, physical separation sometimes, different rooms and all that sort of thing. And eventually the distance is increased so much so that there is this antagonism, right? So we were talking about affinity. So connection is made of closeness and closeness. Closeness is made out of compatibility, complementarity, chemistry, and caring consideration. Closeness is made out of communion. Where there's closeness and closeness, there is a commitment that can be made. You can make that commitment because in this particular model, we are maximizing affinity. What does that mean? The more there is compatibility and complementarity, the closer the people will be. And this is like a good friendship. And if there's chemistry between the two, that leads to an appeal, an attraction, you see. And where there's caring consideration, there's admiration. And followed through by a communion in a relationship. Each one of these are defined terms, and we've been exploring them. And where there's communion, there is affection. So this is about affinity rather than antagonism. A lot of people are not compatible. They're not complementary. They get married. There's no chemistry. There's no caring consideration. There's distance between them. When issues come about, they don't get closer. They move further away. There's separation. There's division. There's distance. There's divorce. You get what I mean? So this is the model we're looking at, that if you manage the differences and similarities to maximize affinity, if you don't do that, you're maximizing antagonism. That means people not happy to be with each other. They might not be right for each other. They might be right for somebody else, but not for each other. We're talking about connection, where you are you, you're expressing yourself, you are an individual, you're a person, the other person loves that. You as a spousal being, you're expressing yourself as a spousal being, the other person is valuing you as a spousal being and responding to you as you express yourself spousally, and vice versa. So that in a nutshell is the greater maximizing of affinity through managing differences. That when you start there, when there's complementarity, complementarity, chemistry, and caring consideration, you already have a bond. And with communion, you can actually build the bond even further, where whatever remaining differences are there, those differences can be handled and can lead to closeness. Whereas when people marry and they don't manage for differences, major differences, these other differences can tear a marriage apart. So this is what the soulful love marriage option is about, and the C's that are involved. In fact, after commitment, it doesn't end there. There's certainment. When you commit to somebody, I'll marry you, but there's engagement, and before the marriage, there's a certainment. That's also a C. And lastly, When you marry somebody, before you have babies with them and before you buy buildings and all that with them and start mixing the money and all that sort of thing, and having babies that you're going to regret if it doesn't work out, there has to be confirmed certainment. So these are the C's that we'll be looking at in more detail in next season.
Looking forward to that. And I love these new terms that you come up with: care, connection, and certainment, and all that. What is the relationship between the C's, Ashraf? How is there a system? How did you gather them?
So we spoke about the 10 levels at which intimacy can be established. Closeness, you see. And you can go back and listen to the videos or the audios that were produced from those sessions. And Robbie did a great job in expressing these levels. But although you don't need all the levels to match with somebody, but the more you match compatibility with somebody, the more affinity and appeal you'll find them. You'll find them more appealing as people in terms of who they are and you're being with them. And we are talking about the best marriages that you can have, that are the marriages in which you feel the closest to your partner. So we teach you how to create an attract soulful love vision, but these are the elements are to be considered. These are the elements that we look at, that when you're creating a vision, check for compatibility, check for complementarity. So if you're compatible with somebody, what are the similarities that bring you together? See, what are the similarities that don't take you apart? See, complementarity. What is the differences that bring you together? What is the differences that don't take you apart? If you you meet somebody and you talk to them, and remember, our work starts long before you meet somebody. You know, a lot of times people think that preparing for marriage is about preparing for a wedding. That's what people think. I'm preparing for marriage. It means I'm preparing for a wedding. But long before you seriously consider marriage, you must start preparing for marriage. Long before you choose anybody, or there's anybody for you to choose, you've got to prepare. And so our preparation involves smart women becoming aware of what brings people closer together, what allows a union. How don't they want to have the closest bond that they can have with any other human being? Don't they want to be with a partner that they really want to be with, and the partners really want to be with them, not in a fantasy or fiction kind of way, but in a fundamental, everyday way of being kind of way. So compatibility and complementarity allows for differences and similarities to bring people together. From there, you can have chemistry. You know, chemistry is that level of engagement and involvement, that interaction people have. See, that's chemistry. I can tell you more about chemistry. And from that chemistry, if a person is with another person who extends caring and consideration, then one level builds to the next, allowing a bond to be experienced, this caring consideration. If you have compatibility and complementarity, it's great, but it's not the end all and be all. There has to be some kind of chemistry. When you have that chemistry, it's great. A lot of people say, well, there's great chemistry, let's commit. Sometimes we say we're very compatible, let's commit. Let's get together because we're compatible. We complement each other very well. Let's commit. Is there chemistry? Is there caring consideration? This allows for closeness, bonding. But beyond that, there's communion, which has communication, confrontation, and compromise. If we've got time, we can speak about that or next time. But I'm just letting people know that each of these C's, it builds on to the other, allowing for the closest relationship, a relationship where people value the relationship more than what they want in that relationship. In communion, just as I mentioned, there is a focusing on the marriage is more important than each one of us. We value this marriage. We appreciate this marriage. You get what I mean? So this soulful love marriage option is for people, not they want to be two separate people married. They want to embrace the world as a actual couple. They value each other's presence in each other's life. And we can develop ourselves and we can attract people who match our development and have this kind of person in our lives to commit to. So this is what the relationship between these levels are, is that they build on each other, allowing for maximal intimacy, maximal closeness, that you can be you and somebody enjoys you. And you can tell them what you're not happy about, and they'll change, not for you, but they'll change for the marriage because they value the marriage. They appreciate you. You get what I mean? So this is just introducing people to this.
Yeah. And, this is so complex. Thank you for taking us through all the C's. Because all people think is all you need is chemistry, right? To have the perfect marriage or the perfect partner. But it's just so much more, So thank you for showing us all the C's. And I don't think we have more time now, but
I'll mention, if I may, about chemistry, just one or 2 points more,
yes,
if I can squeeze them in at the end of the season. So chemistry is the amount of how pleasant and pleasurable experience, how much pleasing, pleasant and pleasurable activities a couple can enjoy. It can be mentally, it can be spiritually, it can be physically, sexually, it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. It's that that we can have fun and play together. So this is where we spoke about last month about the love, the joy and joy threshold. You see, the more people can be themselves, and when they are with each other and they enjoy being with each other, then there's that chemistry there. You see, it doesn't have to be sexual chemistry, but oftentimes it is also including sexual chemistry. And to talk about caring consideration, and because this is what we spoke about, we alluded to, that when we are when we're in a couple relationship, there's certain spousal needs, desires, and preferences only a partner can provide. And so to have a partner who is accessible, available, and attending, where you can say, I have a husband that is accessible, he's there when I want him, is countable, you can count on him, somebody you can really count on. Countability is another C in this area. So if you have a person who's really caring for themselves, the characteristics are great, and the conditions are good. You can see that they are available to themselves and they're caring to themselves. That person who wants our caring, who wants your caring, will happily give you caring. So there's this accountability and this accessibility available in attending. And the last thing I'll say on communion, because communion is about communication. It's like a communication union. There's confrontation, there is expression, and there's compromising, where people make changes for the marriage. Both people make changes to support a marriage that is really enjoyable because they value the marriage. So there, we're talking about the love attitude that we spoke about last month. That how's your love attitude? Is it good? Is it great? Is it bad? Is it horrible? Basically, the love attitude is how much somebody will hear you and be interested in supporting you experience spousal satisfaction. This is part of a real union, where usually we're scared to tell people something and they get angry with us and defensive. Here, when we express in a responsible way, the other person, whether they like it or not, they will respect and be in support of a marriage, because the marriage is more important than the husband or the wife. You know what I mean? It's a unit. And that's what we're talking about. So with that, I want to thank all of you, Rabia, Adina, Antonia, the listeners here today, and every person who have attended our pilot programs, for your contribution. For without each and every one of you, I would never have been able to bring the teaching to this point, and it is with the synergy that we all have all had through the grace of God that this material has been produced, and it will be produced for generations to come. Some of us here will step into it, live it, and become models, and others in time will never know that life was different. You understand? It'll be so normal in the future, this is my prayer, that they'll never know that women lived what they once lived today at this day and age. So thank you again. Thank you, everybody. Bye for now.
Thank you so much, Ashraf. We really appreciate all your work and
Yes.
all this enlightening you're giving us. You,
Very welcome.
and yeah, we're just mentioning this. It's a lot more to talk about disease, but if you want, if our listeners want to know more about it, they can follow us in season 3, and we will give more clarity to everyone. So stay tuned. And if I may, Rabia, just 1 minute, I would like to just say in closing that for me, these past 2 years have been a huge learning curve, from learning to speak, especially in front of an audience, gaining confidence, and going beyond the fear of making mistakes and learning to express. And it's just opened up the tap of my creativity on content and ideas, and becoming more and more authentic through it all, and flowing naturally with the program and with our amazing team in Attract Soulful Love. And I'm really enjoying myself. It challenged me on many levels of becoming an interviewer and without formal training, and challenged me as a married woman to look where I'm coming from and where I want to be, and what my likes, desires, and preferences are in a marriage. Wanting to become a better partner, and it developed me as a facilitator as well. And it's really been an all-round personal and professional development for me. And I'm very grateful to Ashraf that made it all possible, and giving me the training and the opportunity, and showing us that the unimaginable is possible. And yes, it has been challenging at times, but so rewarding. So well done to us, the team of Attract Soulful Love. Well done to our students. They've done great progress. And also well done to Ashraf, the creative designer of this truly amazing program. I cannot wait to see what season 3 has in store for all of us. Thank you so much, everybody. And thank you, Rabia. Good night, everyone.
Thank you so much, Adina and Ashraf, for the Q&A session. Adina, you've done a great job. Your transformational has been inspiring as well. Thank you so much for fleshing out, such important points with Ashraf, and, picking up on some of the important elements of what a soulful love marriage option really is. Adina, your commitment to personal growth and development, as well as your willingness to learn and your capacity to comprehend new knowledge, is admirable and makes you the perfect person to interview Ashraf for the benefit of the listeners. So well done to you.
Thank you so much. And likewise, you've done a great job as well. Thank you.
And, I'm so pleased and proud that we are doing this work to support ourselves and other women like us and women of the future. And this participation in elevating the quality at which women live and marry is a great service to humanity that I'm very pleased and proud to be associated with. So listeners, this brings us to the conclusion of our 24th Attract Soulful Love live event, our second season finale. Wow, it's been another enlightening and a very empowering event and season. And what a great investment of our time towards a healthier and happier life of personal satisfaction, and a married life of spousal satisfaction as well. And I'm very pleased that we've had this discussion this evening. So listeners, we have now completed 2 seasons, and it's been such a pleasure for me to host the first season and the second season. And like Adina has shared, it's been a journey for us. This is not what we do every day. And I'm very grateful that, we have this opportunity and the platform and the support and guidance from Ashraf as well. And I'm very amazed as the progress that we've made and how this teaching is evolving, and not only in terms of its relevance and pertinency, but also in terms of its clarity and sufficiency. Thank you so much to all of you who have been attending these live events. It shows us that as smart women, you are not settling, you want better. You don't know what that is really, and I'm sure you're finding out elements of what that is now. You want the best for you in your life. You are into your personal satisfaction. And if you are like the other women who have given us feedback, I'm sure you are getting great value out of these sessions too, because you are getting clarity. And the clarity gives you the confidence to proceed with your premarital journey consciously with certainty. The destination and direction that Ashraf has provided smart women, which is unique and unheard of. And Ashraf Murad is providing it here on this particular platform for free. And there are 2 complete seasons now. And if you haven't already gone through our material, there's season 1 and season 2 on both YouTube and Spotify. And Ashraf is actually considering removing these seasons from these particular platforms because they were more preparatory seasons and rough and raw, and we were finding our feet. So I suggest listen to it while it's available. And the Attract Soulful Love content is more polished now. And our next season is going to be much more focused and moving forward more purposefully with pointed focus. And I'm really looking forward to that. I want to thank the listeners for your loyal support, and we hope to see you in the next season. And if you received any value out of these seasons and these sessions, please tell other smart women about these sessions so that they may derive value as well. If you have any comments, any questions, any feedback, or if you'd like more information about season 2, or if you want to inform us regarding your suggestions for season 3, please feel free to send us an email to attract.soulful.love@gmail.com. And you can keep in touch with us on our social media platforms such as Instagram and Facebook for notifications of our upcoming events and to receive other informative posts. So in closing, I'm really looking forward to our upcoming 21st online Attract Soulful Love group coaching session, which Ashraf is conducting for the Attract Soulful Love pilot group students, which will be on Saturday, the 9th of August between 9:30 a.m. and 2 p.m. And I'd like to acknowledge the team supporting Ashraf. We on the Attract Soulful Love team, we are very busy people. And I'm very grateful that we've had the opportunity to do this regardless. And we are doing this purely on a voluntary basis as our contribution and service to humanity. Thank you, everyone, for having supported. Thank you, listeners, for attending our event live and in person as we support you and others like you on YouTube and Spotify. And we look forward to seeing you all in the next season. Thank you, Antonia and Adina, for all your efforts and contribution to the success of another Attract Soulful Live event and season. And it's been an absolute pleasure working with you both on the Attract Soulful Love team. Lastly, I'd like to express my heartfelt gratitude to our teacher, Ashraf. Thank you for generously sharing your time and your unique expertise and supporting women with your soulful love marriage option. On behalf of Ashraf, Antonia, Adina, and myself, I'd like to express a final thank you for your attendance and participation in the second season. We remain committed to your highest potential as the most progressive woman you can be and your greatest possibility for the most satisfying marriage you can enjoy. And we intend to continue with season 3, and we're looking forward to seeing you in the new season. Thank you and good night.